What's good, everybody? Back once again, and after another good-looking Monday Night Raw. I was like, we had a lot of good matches today, and that got their time. You know, uh, I was like, there's always been Raw being 3 hours and stuff like that. And I know for a lot of people, that's too much, or especially when it drags out, or it's not hitting. But to me today, I was like, today it's sort of like the reason why you sort of have 3 hours of Raw. I was like, you give matches a lot more chance to breathe, and you can put a lot more matches on there. And considering the matches that kind of like even some of the matches, for instance, like Knox versus Piper or Xia Li versus Indy, while they're not up there in the matches, but it's giving other people a chance to shine, giving them a chance to breathe. You know, you setting up other storylines and that kind of thing. You getting other people on there that might not really get a chance to sign. Like last week when it was like Shinsuke versus Akira Tozawa. Just a regular run of the mill match where we know that it's gonna be Shinsuke, but here tonight we got Shinsuke versus Otis. We're set up. Shinsuke going against Gable probably next week or something. So, and once again, Miz fighting Ivar. That was like a little boss thing that was last week, but they still was able to recoup that and make it into a match this week. And by doing that, you throw Bronson Reed in there. So, when it's used in this kind of way, when you got the extra time to, I mean, this, another wrestling program, it's like if you're using it for something and not just to just be like, yo, we gotta fill up some time somehow, but you're actually using it for something, then I feel like that's what the purpose is. Also, if you sort of wait to watch it, you could record, you could fast forward through stuff you don't like at the same time. But anyway, so to start all off, Cody Rhodes came out here, Cody Rhodes came out here. Then he asked his group to come out here, which was then Uso, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and then Seth Rollins. And I don't think I can ever remember, I was like, not everybody has I guess songs to sing to all the time, but I can't remember a time where literally everybody came out and everybody's song basically got sung or some version. With the Cody Rhodes and everybody singing, his whole something something. My daddy said, "Live my freedom," whatever. Uso, whoa, oh, and then with the whole woo with Seth. Anyway, so then they get interrupted by Judgment Day. And then basically they clash and they start talking junk to each other. Where Judgment Day basically going through each one of their shortcomings, like Cody, you can't finish the story. Seth, basically you don't even like none of these people. Sammy, you can't win anything in the main event, and Jay, having you betrayed every damn person in this damn lineup. But then they flip it right back where Cody's like, hey, y'all need a leader of your team. Where's your leader at? Rhea's not here. I was like, JD is just sort of the mascot kind of thing, Then Damian Priest was like, I'm the leader. And Seth like, I don't care. Can we fight? It's me and Sammy versus Dom and JD. And Damian's like, yeah, all right. So they get into the match. And, regular match, they just doing their thing. And basically at some point, shenanigans happen. Then everybody's brawling. All 8 people, they brawling in the ring. Which Adam Pearce had to come in, basically look, we ain't doing this. For the tag team titles tonight, everybody here is barred, gone. Get out of here. I don't even want to see you. Don't let the door hit you where your mama should have kicked you. I don't know. So then, now Rhea's in the ring, and she's over here being upset. Adam threatened to, not to have her show up. And then Zoe, wanted to come down. And this was sort of very. It didn't do what it was the purpose of it. I was like, Zoe tried to come out and basically say how she was close to beating Rhea, and how Rhea's like really thin, and then really, I was like, Rhea had it, Zoe didn't have it, but I mean, also one's a vet at this point, and the other one is like still getting their feet wet. I thought it would have been, excuse me, I thought it would have been better if during that brawl, Rhea could have started. Whoa, that was a lot. If Rhea could have started, we're gonna keep that in. If Rhea could have started fighting with with her Judgment Day people against the other ones, and Zoe would have just came out in the middle of the brawl and just started beating up Rhea, like not necessarily like on the defense of like Seth and Zayn, but just seeing it as an opportunity of being like, oh, if you're doing this, I'm gonna just come in here and also just start swinging, and we all just gonna start swinging. I think that would have made Zoe look more of a badass, and I think that especially while Zoe is still trying to talk, I think it would be better to show that she's not scared of Rhea. She's a badass just like Rhea. If you just had her just fighting just like Rhea just does out of nowhere, I thought that would have been better. And probably, like almost sort of what they started doing with Raquel like a while back, where it's like instead of Raquel talking, they really just had her going out and just started wailing on Rhea, and that's how they set up a lot of their matches, their last iteration. But anyway, I was like, that got cleared out, and then so we moved to basically the next thing, which is basically backstage. Cody and Cody's runs into Seth and Sammy, who got to leave, and Sammy leaves. Cody and Seth is sort of like giving a reason. They don't like each other. They sort of make that known, but they respect each other. And Cody just like, look, I didn't need you for one night. We can hate each other the rest of the night. And Seth like, cool, I can do that. Go win the titles. Then Seth sort of throws his championship over his shoulder, and they didn't do it, but I thought they would have it almost like they would have the camera sort of where they have Cody's face in it, but have the championship like in the background, almost like doing like some little foreshadowing, like foreplay type of thing. I was like, I don't know why I said foreplay. I was doing too many fours. Golf. I don't know. But so, that was a little backstage segment. Cool. Whatever. Then I was like, so we're basically setting up for Shinsuke Otis. It was a fun match because you got kind of like Shinsuke on his like, he wanted to beat people up, and he's like really tough, but he also just like lackadaisical at the same time, where he's just like, I don't care, but he still brings the aggressiveness. And Otis just being big sort of just gives it a good parallel, where a lot of like counters to Shinsuke was really just because he couldn't take down Otis. Like Otis was just running through his stuff the whole time. So Shinsuke tried, like a Shinsuke once, didn't work. From the top rope, didn't work. From the back, didn't work. Then he had to I was like, it took 3 to put Otis down. So in one hand, it was like, it's like the move would normally put people out, but against a bigger like buffy dude, it gonna take a couple more. So he beat Otis, and in that he just sort of like slaps Gable in the back of the head, and then he just like bounces out, and out pretty much the match. But I was like, straight match. So I was like, it's basically what we're setting up for. That's really what it was in the end. So in this, we basically, then after that, we're getting Tegan Knox and Piper. Sort of what I was saying earlier, that I'm like, it wasn't going to be anything that was going to, I think, I was like, Piper and Chelsea Green sort of got a little bit of something, but not really nothing at the same time. I think Tegan Knox is sort of like, I was like, I'm able to hear at least like it seems like the crowd is starting to get a little bit behind Knox, to be honest. The Natalie thing the Talia thing is really just weird to me. I was like, I mean, look, if it's at the point she's like a manager, I think that's fine. But I just, she's just there in a way. Yeah, I was like, this is try to do like, it was a really small match, and it's sort of what doing like, can she be fast enough to take down the bigger, stronger person? But yeah, she got the. I was like, she got the win. Help with the shenanigans of Chelsea and Natalia in the back. But she was able to get the victory. Small little match. You have Miz backstage talking. Then Ivar snuck up on him. Then they trying to banter back. Then Bronson's really big ass comes up out of here, and then it's like, okay, that's weird. And Miz sort of just go to the to the back, and then he just sort of like dips out while those two are just Then Bronson gets stuffed in the face, by Ivar. Valhalla then comes up, so he can't do anything because mystical presence. So so now we're getting DIY and Imperium. Well, I was like, you getting Ciampa wrestling with Gargano, and then you get Ludwig Kaiser with Vinci. Vinci get barred from ringside. Okay. I will say this is probably one of the, I was like, their feud sort of been like, so far. I haven't really been in the DIY. But I will say this is probably the first match, especially with, like, Ciampa's have been in pretty good matches while he's been on the main roster. Outside of Gunther, I was like, which was a really good match. This one has probably been the better, like, another good one, because they were really hard hitting and really seemed like we was getting like the NXT version of it. And so I was like, if we could get, I guess we could get that of like the DIY versus Imperium, I'd be more maybe intrigued. But other than this match, I was like, I haven't been. But so anyway, they're hard hitting, they're going back and forth, trading spots, trading blows. Then Vinci comes back and tags the hell out of Johnny Gargano, which throws Ciampa off, which gives Kaiser the chance to get the victory. And, then they proceed to the back. They lost. Doesn't matter. So then in the back, we get Judgment Day, and, they basically sort of confronts a little bit of Damian Priest about him being the leader when they don't have a leader, and he made magic when they're not supposed to do that for each other. But Rhea sort of gives the okay that, especially for war games, you should be the leader, which I'm like, if somebody points out that you should probably be a leader, then that means they probably are the leader. Anyway, but so in that, they decide that because earlier that night when they was having the brawl, Jey Uso speared McDonough, and because he took one from McDonough and all the stuff that he's been doing throughout the whole time, they finally sort of agreed that he's finally going to be part of Judgment Day. And Damian Priest took it upon himself because he'd been the most hesitant to go deliver it himself. So then after that, we cut to Xia Li, Indy Hartwell. Once again, sort of just another match. I was like, we're trying to build up Xia Li right now. Anyway, so you got to give her some fodder to, basically take care of. She already took Candice LeRae, so Indy's like, I got to, defend my friend. And I was like, slow match, but we also sort of seen what it was sort of getting to. This one wasn't really to showcase Indy. This was really just to try to showcase Xia. And I think they were okay. I don't think it gave enough to show Xia until she basically landed her kick, which I'm not going to lie, it didn't look like her other kicks. So I didn't even know that was sort of the end of it until Indy wasn't getting back up. And that basically did it itself, of solidifying her as being like, oh no, she got this deadly move, which I was like, it is a cool move. It's a really solid kick. It just didn't do it in this match for me. But Becky comes out basically, saying she wants to, like, hey, you keep talking to him. You got me from behind. Cool. We're going to have a fight. I'm tired of you being like, we're going to have a fight and never have a fight. The fight obviously didn't happen. So we're going to get it, we're going to get it next week. The way she set it up, I was like, are we going to get this as a Survivor Series? Because I don't know if this is a Survivor Series match. So, yeah. Maybe if they would have been doing it for a while and maybe they had a match, Becky wins, which I was like, I sort of think that Becky's going to win next week. Not gonna lie, but I think Zaya then is just going to beat her down. To me, to me, I would like it, or I wouldn't mind it. Like it's because I don't think they're gonna have Zia Lee win, but I would like it that if she did lose, that she just basically just takes out Becky. Like she, like even doing like the whole, like even if they wanted to, like like how they would do like the chair on somebody's like leg or around their like neck or something like that, and take them out. If it like, I need them to do something where it's like she just almost doesn't come back until like the Rumble or something like that, and then they have their little square up in there or something like that. Like she's just so mad she just takes Becky Lynch out. That'd be great for me. Um. Anyway, after that we got Miz and Ivar, which was a hella good match. I was like, they really basically they've been showing Ivar out for ever since the partner went out for the last like month or so. With Miz coming in and they're trying to build like Miz up, they sort of basically had Miz go in all of his bags of stuff of like all the moves that he, that you could give your creative character. Basically, Miz was showing casing that on Ivar and doing a lot of hella kickouts on things that normally probably, okay, more than likely Miz wouldn't break out if this was like 3 weeks ago. Basically to show up Gunther, who he earlier in the backstage segment said, "Watch my match, you're gonna see how I do," kind of thing. He had like a tornado DDT. I was like, he did a Hurricanrana. He tried to do a skull finale from the top rope, didn't work, but he was able to kick out when Ivar basically like dropped him. Bronson Reed came out just to sit at ringside, which he did. He didn't interfere. He just sort of just kept talking junk the whole time, making faces. I was like, the camera did a good job appearing in right. Yeah, but Miz basically rolled him up. Cause he about to, Ivar about to do like a little moonsault thing, but he put his feet on the very top rope and got the win. And right now, Miz is over no matter what tactic he used, because he's basically making it straight and simple that he's like, I'm gonna win by any means necessary. And you can sort of respect and the honesty of like, oh, if he bowed that life, cool. I was like, I can dig that. And then after that, Bronson Reed just takes out Ivar at that point. So we're gonna get that match. Two beefy men, no water, no meat. I mean, like, no water, no bread, just straight meat. There we go. Then backstage we had Zoe talking to Shayna, and Shayna sort of congratulating her. Then Raquel coming in and congratulating her. And I didn't like this segment either. I thought it was really phony, but I was like, it was too over the top, especially with like Shayna and Zoe. Of like, I sort of like their playful starkiness of like, I almost had you, no, I almost had you, like that was fine. And then like her sort of comment like, all right, I guess, but then it just got too much of like congratulating pound of that. But then when Nia Jax comes in and basically said what I was thinking, which I was like, okay, cool, they were setting that up for her to come through. And Raquel and Nia basically being like, I could beat you, and it's like, no, you can't. So that's gonna be a match. Cool, whatever. I was like, we're gonna set it up at some point. We'll see how that goes. Show Damian Priest talking to JD, Madonna, about, hey, you took one for me. Here's the clothes. You a part of the group. He's like, awesome. And so basically, JD is now JD. Look at that. Hey, now it finally goes all together. And so then that was like the main event match, tag team match. Cody, Usos versus Judgment Day of Priest, Finn Balor. All right, I was like, seen the match before, so they're going through the same beats. Get to the most critical time, basically, where it looks like they're gonna have to win. I didn't know who. I didn't know who they were going to have win, because I could make a case for either one going into War Games, having the title. Especially like Jay and Cody ain't have it long enough. But I was like, but also Judgment Day is also really cohesive. Like they're not, all that bickering and stuff is sort of like past them right now. So I see why they kept it on them. They try to hit the code D. Pre breaks it up. Then Priest and Cody's on the outside and just threw his ass into the post, and the post broke off. I know that wasn't part of it, but it was almost a lot. But it's like I like those type of things where I'm like, that's not supposed to happen, but it makes it a lot more impactful kind of thing. But yeah, so then I was like, so they're still fighting or whatever. I was like, Jay basically trying to take out Damon Priest on the outside, and we see Jay just staring off in the distance. Now, I thought there was going to be an interruption here. I just didn't know who it was. I was like, are they going to do Jimmy again? No. I was like, man, who could it be? It was Drew McIntyre. Now, it's like, what? This crazy. He claymores the hell out of Jey Uso. Throw them in there. Judgement Day able to keep the win. Then McIntyre at the top of the ramp. Rhea comes out. And I was like, and I forgot to add this in there, but earlier McIntyre was there and he basically extended the hand to Seth, shook his hand basically saying like, yo, it was my fault. I was like, you said once I lost, it was all on me, and it was. And we'll see if this is a good thing for me. Basically extended his hand to Seth, shook hands, like, hey, the best man won. Fast forward to here, Rhea stuck out her hand, McIntyre shook her hand, and that's how it basically went off. And it's like, what? That's crazy. So I thought I was wondering the whole time. I'm like, okay, are they gonna keep it 4-on-4? Obviously they didn't, or they might not, or they might still. We don't necessarily know, but that's sort of surprised. And I guess that means he was Judgment Day, but it's like, what deal did he make? What did he align himself with? From all that time back, because I'm pretty sure they're going to bring back where he was talking to him beforehand. And it was probably, maybe he lost with the Seth and that reevaluated that whole thing, and there was still a chance for him to do it. But I was like, I wonder if they're going to add him where Cody and them got to get a fifth member. Part of me was thinking when they were saying that Dom is having beef with Wesley in NXT, that I was thinking, they should bring somebody from NXT to put in here just to spice it up a bit, from, East Side or something like that, maybe, So I'm like, maybe they do get like somebody like Wesley from NXT because he has beef with Judgment Day or something like that. Or, Trick, because Trick had beef with him and something like that. But anyway, that was the Raw review. Like I said, it was a pretty good Raw. Set up a lot of things with Survivor Series coming up, but also the next Monday, and also giving some people a lot of time to shine. That's why I like Raw with 3 hours, and I was like, it doesn't bother me when it's used like this, and not just, I guess I'm gonna go pee. I'm gonna do my taxes or something like that. But anyway, you like this recap review? Let me know. If not, hey, maybe next time. What do you think is gonna go on with War Game? What other matches about to be set up? Because we only really got 2 of them right. No, we got 3 of them right now. So yeah, so like we still got room for growth. Anyway, see you for the next wrestling story.